China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole... That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
He's talking about a bloodbath for America. It's laid out in the terms of it. And these idiots on Twitter, these idiots on cable news, these idiots on Sunday shows going, well, President, you know, he was talking only about the auto industry, and this is one more. It's just bullshit. Let me say that at 6:15 a.m. It's just bullshit. He knew what he was doing. We're not stupid.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, this is just a perfect example of why more and more people just don't trust the mainstream media, me included. You know what? I wouldn't trust them running a bath at this rate. I'm going to be honest here. Donald Trump, as we know, is absolutely crushing it in the polls, and this is leaving leftists, liberals scared. So what are they going to do? They're going to try as hard as they can to try and make sure Trump is painted as this evil person and take his words out of context like they do with anybody they don't like. As you heard at the very beginning of this video, Donald Trump was holding a rally in Ohio, and he ended up talking about the automobile industry, the issues with China building massive plants in Mexico, and they want to build the cars in Mexico and then sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. He says, look, essentially, you're not going to be able to do that if you want that, and you're not even going to hire Americans and then sell those cars to us. Nah, that's not going to happen. They're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line. And he says if he doesn't get elected, there's going to be a bloodbath. Now, we all know he's talking about the automobile industry. And because the liberal mainstream media heard Trump say there is going to be a bloodbath if I don't get elected, they have decided to clip only that part and push the narrative of Trump saying there is going to be a bloodbath if he doesn't get elected with no context whatsoever. Take a look at these headlines that are being published everywhere. Every single one of them is trying to create this violent narrative coming from Trump. Again, they want people to see that and think, oh, Trump is going to be this evil dictator who is going to do terrible things. And there will be a lot of people who will see that across the world and they will eat it up. For example, in this country, right, I tell you now, and some people from this country will understand this, you'll get these news organizations who will create articles about Trump or anybody they don't like, right? And then when the narrative is proven false or it doesn't go their way, they then don't create another article saying, okay, guys, you know what, this happened and we were wrong. They leave the original article up, which is why, for the most part, if you ask people in this country, what do you think about Trump? They'll just regurgitate the headline they have seen. And then when you try and prove them wrong about that and say, wait, no, hold on, these are the facts here, they then get upset at you. No, the mainstream media said this about Trump. You're wrong. It's absolute insanity. It really is. And obviously it happens quite a lot in America, and the American news organizations have tried to do the same thing here with this whole bloodbath quote. And this is just going to be the trend going forward for Trump. You know, they're just going to use Trump's words against him in the worst ways possible. And it's going to get even worse as we get closer to the election. I mean, let's just take a look at this controlled influencer who is controlled by the Democrats, trying to create this narrative and push it on social media. Take a watch.
So Donald Trump is now threatening the American people and people who don't like him. At his rally today, he said that there's going to be, quote, a bloodbath if he loses in November. It's crazy. Take a look at the clip.
And you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole... That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive factories. A friend of mine...
Yeah, a bloodbath, according to Donald Trump. Do you folks see what he's doing here? He's trying to scare people into supporting him or staying quiet and not making their voices heard. And to that, I say, screw you, Donald Trump. You don't get to try to scare the American people into submission so you can achieve your lifelong dream of becoming a dictator. Like, this is exactly what authoritarian leaders do. When you look at dictatorships around the world and in history, one of the ways they maintain power is by scaring the people, making sure that they don't speak up against them and their reign. That's what Donald Trump wants to achieve, and that's what he's saying here. We cannot allow this guy back into office in 2024. Our democracy quite literally depends on it.
I mean, I really, really do have to give some credit here to the Democrats and everybody involved with this, because they certainly know how to choose the most insufferable people, don't they? It's a talent at this rate. It really is. But CNN have obviously got involved with this. They decided to drag Nancy Pelosi into a segment, and she sat there and said, oh, well, what does he mean by this? Is he going to exact a bloodbath? Take a watch.
Because he's even predicting a bloodbath. What does that mean? He's going to exact a bloodbath? There's something wrong here. How respectful I am of the American people and their goodness. But how much more do they have to see from him to understand that this isn't what our country is about?
You know, as a British dude, I understand we've got our own problems, but when I hear and see people saying stuff like this, I really do feel sorry for the American people. You have individuals getting up on the mainstream media and saying, Trump isn't what America needs. He's going to make things worse. So you're telling me Americans need Biden? He's done such a fantastic job. I almost forgot. And, you know, in these last 4 years, he hasn't put the country in a terrible state. What was I thinking? How can things get worse? These people are lying to the American people. I think that's pretty obvious to see here. They don't serve the people's best interests, and they have to create a hoax like this to try and keep voters on their side. That really says a lot, doesn't it? And just to interject here, whilst editing this video, we have a response from Donald Trump on Truth Social, who goes on to say, the fake news media and their Democrat partners in the destruction of our nation pretended to be shocked at my use of the word bloodbath, even though they fully understood that I was simply referring to the imports allowed by crooked Joe Biden, which are killing the automobile industry. The United Auto Workers, but not their leadership, fully understand what I mean. With the electric car mandate being pushed by Biden, there soon won't be any cars made in the USA unless I'm elected president, in which case auto manufacturing will thrive like never before, MAGA 2024. Yeah, pretty based if you ask me. And this is why I'm so grateful for X. I was thinking about this the other day. You know, if Elon Musk hadn't have bought Twitter, how different would things look right now? I know people don't like Elon Musk and they have their questions around him. I certainly do, but the landscape would look very, very different. The mainstream media would be allowed to lie with no counter, no pushback. But with X, we see people, you know, exposing the lies, pushing back against the narrative the mainstream media wants everybody to believe. And I will always applaud that. I mean, he's even reacted to this whole situation by saying this. He responds to somebody here pointing out the fake news by saying the legacy media lies. He also goes on to post the speech himself with full context, and then in another post tells people, please send links from this platform to your friends who are still being misled by the legacy media. And it also makes me think now, you know, with Elon Musk owning X, previously we had platforms affecting elections in favor of the Democrats, but now he owns X. It's really going to help people to see what is going on, and you do feel like because of this platform, things are slowly shifting. There is a little shift going on, and people are waking up to a lot of lies being told. People are thinking, wait, hold on, no, we need a change right now. And a lot of stories get exposed and brought to light that, again, if he didn't own X, we wouldn't know about. But leave your thoughts down below, ladies and gentlemen, on this whole situation. What are your thoughts on the mainstream media trying to create this narrative, trying to make Trump look bad once again? I'd like to know. If you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, comment on this video, share this video. But until next time, until tomorrow, it has been your boy JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out. Peace.